get this on here. And welcome everybody. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. Welcome to Metaphysical Communion, predictions and readings for the year 2022. Hope everyone had a wonderful holiday season so far. Happy New Year to all of you. It is finally 2022 and we are here. We made it basically in one piece. For those of you who are new to the program, my name is DeAngelis Colon. I am the host of Metaphysical Communion, which this program is based on, seen live on Facebook and also can be seen on YouTube on the Metaphysical Communion channel. This program is being recorded. So for those of you who miss it the first time live, you can view it again on Facebook, on my page, DeAngelis Colon, Transpsychic Express, and on YouTube, on the Metaphysical Communion channel. So welcome once again. And we're just getting an audience here to come and join us here for this evening. We're going to have a night of predictions for the new year. As I get a sense of it, as Spirit has informed me and let me know how things, may be for what's coming up, where it's leading to, how the energies are. And we'll also do some spot readings for those of you in the audience, for the new year who may have questions about what might be ahead for you, what concerns you have. Will things turn out better? Will my relationship improve? Will I get a relationship? What's ahead? Who's around me, perhaps? Do they know what's going on? Can I connect with them? Can they connect with me? Money, how that's going to be, is it better or not? So we're going to talk about it worldwide and also one-on-one individually for those of you who are out there in the audience this evening. So checking in on my screen here and have a look and see here. See if I get any comments. Here we go. And Mary Lou, there you are. How are you? Good to see you here. You may hear a bit of audio from my cell phone because I'm clicking in live there too. I see Mary Lou has made it here. So good to see you too. See if I get any comments. There you are. So I'm going to tune out from the cell phone portion. I get everything here on my screen here, so I now can have commentaries, coming up. Good, excellent, good to see. So here we go, perfect. All right, so as I was saying earlier, for those of you who may have missed it, we've just come through the first new moon of the year in Capricorn, yesterday. So the aspects were pretty good. It is, the season, of darkness and winter. Winter arrived on December the 21st, just a few days ago, about a week ago. So the season is new and fresh, for us. And we're here with a good new moon, so far in the sign of Capricorn, very earthy, very, grounded, energy, a new moon. This is good. We're getting a restart here. A freshness of new energy that's come in with this new year. It was expected, since the very end of last year, and I could certainly sense the change, coming upon us, and some vestiges of the old year that luckily have seemed to be left behind, from what I get a sense of, and we really are in a new energy with this year, and I will tell you that's very positive to feel. Since I am very empathic and very attuned to the world energies and the energies out there spiritually, I can immediately first detect that right away. There's a shifting, a difference in the energy here for this new year. There's an expectancy of hope that things will start to turn out for the better, that we're going to have a change for the better this year, finally, after the last nearly 2 years that we've had, here, due to the pandemic. Since March of 2020, that's when things really started to hit here in the United States, mainly, and things started to shut down, as we are aware of. And this year, Again, things got a little bit better, but then it kind of went the other way for a bit in the last, let's say, almost 7 weeks or so, with, of course, our Omicron variant that has decided to visit upon us, of the virus. So things have slowed down a bit. People have had to retreat somewhat. People are being more cautious once again. But I also get a sense also that this will not last very, very long. That this will start to come to a conclusion and basically, in a sense, start to fizzle out, gradually. So that's a good thing to hear and to sense. And I expect another few weeks of this peak, of this, and we're going to start seeing it start to come down, gradually. So I'm expecting between mid-March to beginning April, where this experience that we're having now will start to really dissipate and start to subside. Thanks, to the vaccines, thanks to people once again taking better care and being more responsible once again. And that's going to start to diminish, and break things up here again. So that's a good thing. Overall, my first prediction in regards to this area of things, regarding, of course, the world pandemic, because that's the thing that's most prominent right now in world consciousness, is that this will continue, to subside gradually. Once again, things will improve, will continue to improve. And despite the difficulties we've had in the last nearly 2 months, it is certainly not compared to what was a year and a half ago. Again, science has come through. We're better able to handle this. We have more knowledge of this. People know what to do now as opposed to not. There's less of a sense of fear and terror, which helps, also, minimize, negative energy that is dispelled when this type of event, occurs. So the more you know, the more knowledge and the more awareness, the better things are. It changes energy around. It affects disease. We can affect things. Remember that. We are in charge of our future. We are in charge of our destiny. We can alter and shift things, even though they may seem to be external, such as a virus. But communal mindset, communal energy can make a difference. It alters, it changes, things. We've seen it already before for years and years and years, and we're seeing it again. And we will continue to see it, as we move forward. And that's the key word here. We are moving forward, nevertheless, and things will continue to improve. We may have some more problems coming up along the way. It's never been 100% certain that this was going to be over, quickly or so, but we are heading in the right direction. This year will continue to be better. We will have perhaps another variant or so coming up, just to make you aware of that. So don't think that the Omicron will be the end, of this. I'm expecting some other things to pop up along the way. And there will be other strains of this, coming up. Do I sense that it's going to be more dangerous, or let's say not effective in regard to the vaccines being effective to fight it? I don't get really a sense of that. There is a fear of that happening, which is normal under the circumstances. But I don't get the sense of a major strain coming up that's going to be really, really a terror, after this. I do believe that whatever is to come up, I do feel that there will be another variant or 2 or 3 coming up later on. But I don't feel that it's going to be a danger that's going to wipe the world and the people in the world out. So there'll be other concerns coming up along the way. We just have to adjust to things, do what we need to do to take care of ourselves and one another. And we'll be able to get through it as we're getting through this. Yes, I'm fully aware, as we all are, that the hospitals are starting to rise with cases of people coming down with sickness and disease or so. But for the most part, it doesn't seem that we're having the tremendous amount of fatalities that we had a year and a half, a year ago. We don't have people getting as sick, or at least the majority of people getting as sick as that time period either. It is not pleasant, of course. There are people who are not feeling their best. I know a few people that have already tested positive for this, are having symptoms. It's not a pleasure, to go through. In some instances, it can be quite worrisome and scaring a few people here and there. But as long as they take care of themselves, do what they need to do. For those who are vaccinated, it seems that they're having a better time of it for the most part. If they come down with this, they seem not to get it as strongly, and they're able to overcome it a bit better, also. So as long as they do what they need to do, stay away for the 5 days or so that's recommended now, lay low, test again, come out negative, you'll get through this. There shouldn't be major lingering effects of this. You shouldn't have to be taking months and months to recover, from this. So that's good to feel. But all in all, prediction is that we are going to get through this. It's going to be better. And we'll get more of a handle, more of control, over this. And we will start to be able to move on and have more of a sense of freedom, in our lives, here. Hello, Valerie, how are you? Good to see you as well. Happy New Year. I just like to scroll through a bit here. So just keep doing what we need to do, and don't give in to fear and ignorance. Move forward. Just take good care if you have to. And right now we got to be a little bit more cautious. We have to isolate a bit more once again. But they were expecting this to happen with the season, change, especially with winter coming upon us. And that's just part of the nature of these things. So we're going to get through this. I do believe that by 2023 especially, the majority of this will finally really be over. It's going to take a good 2 to almost 3 years of this to finally, put this more, at rest. But things are gradually turning back to normal. That will continue. I don't see major setbacks. I don't get a sense of that. I get a feeling of it. I get overall that this year will be a major improvement. It will not be 100% normal, but it'll certainly be where we'll be able to be a little bit more, let's say, relaxed about things. We'll get back to certain things that we're able to do, certain behaviors. The world has changed, that is true. We're not going to go back to the way it was again. That's not necessarily a bad thing. And we'll get to see that more and more as the world starts to return, back to more of a normal state of being. In a way, it'll be better. And because people have become more, at least some people have become more open, more awake, and more grounded about things, and seeing things, what really is important, what really is valued. A lot of people have made major changes in their lives already, whether it was forced upon them or whether they just felt that this was an impetus, to do it and not to wait, not to postpone anymore, but go out and do what you need to do that's going to make you happy. And that's what they are doing more than ever before. And we're getting more to a place where people are more real about things, not so superficial. There's a few things, of course, people are still, the media doesn't help, obviously. It's become more and more superficial in a way, more, just grandiose, with their alarming news and whatever. That's something to oh, please, So it's for the most part, people are responding, pretty well and pretty fairly to all of this. And that'll continue more and more. In regards to the world market and things such as stocks, bonds, etc., there's going to be more stabilization coming this year. It may look like things are bad or so, whatever, and that there's a lot of people not able to go back to work right away, partially due because of the pandemic, partially because they just don't want to go back, also. But nevertheless, things are going to start to normalize there. We shouldn't have any major catastrophes or dips in the stock market where we won't be able to come out of it right away. Again, in that area of things, that will start to become more stabilized. You'll start to see it and feel it. The price of things are going to continue to go up. Unfortunately, that is true. That will continue in a way, but I feel that by mid-year, that will also plateau. And once things get more settled into place once again, and more people return to work, also, and they fix the systems better here and there, we're going to see, again, also major improvements in that area where things will start to come down financially. So the price of food will start to lower. The price of gasoline will come down again more, even more than it has already. We see some minor change already. As long as there's not some major upheaval in the world, some major threat, some war that breaks out somewhere. So we have to keep an eye on the Ukraine, for instance, because that's a bit tenuous right now and sensitive, there. But so that we have to keep, because there's always a surprise. And there's one thing that I also get a sense of, that there can be surprises in store. And there will be surprises in store that will make things go up and down a bit more once again. So get ready. So I'm keeping my eye on the Ukraine situation, there in Russia. So far, it seems to be a little too quiet, in a way. The next few weeks, the next few months, let's look into, let's say, April, May, where we have to be a little bit alert, there. When things start to happen, I see shifting their energies, greatly, there. So that's something we have to be aware of. But for the most part, we have good aspects helping us out this year, as opposed to the last 2 years, that will be more long lasting and stabilizing in the world, also. So that will help us as well. We also have to take a look at next fall, also, where there might be another something that may suddenly, cause a concern, also as well too. I'm looking there more like in the Middle Eastern region, there, that something might pop up a bit more. And so we have to stay aware, and a bit in North Africa region, also, where there'll be some concerns there, too, where that might cause, some commotion between, let's say, Northern Africa and the upper European, continent. So let's be aware of that. I'm talking politically, government, as well there. Some chaos, breaking out politically in those regions. That could be a cause of concern, also. So be aware of that, throughout this year. So we're looking to the spring to be a bit of, let's say, eye-opening experience, and also in the fall. So between September, October, we have to keep our eyes open too. That's more in the Africa region of things there. So we'll look into that, area too. And in regards to society, well, people will continue to be crazy and acting out. And look, it's a time period of change. People are just, have had it. People are letting their inner stuff come out in the ways that we've never seen it before. And they're purging personally. They're purging in groups. They're purging in families. We see more of that, and they're acting out. And the media is just seizing upon any little thing that they can get, just to sensationalize things, just so that they can get ratings and attention. But we're going to see more people like not putting up with stuff anymore and just bursting out. Some things will be unfortunate, hostile, even seemingly inappropriate. Others we have to take things as we see them. Others, because there's a lot of just unfortunately, deranged people out there that are just going to take advantage of this and let themselves go. And then others that see that happen will see, all the attention they're getting or so, and they'll let go, also. So we'll see more spectacular things happening, in the world with people just acting out crazily, especially in the United States, unfortunately, other parts of the world, as well. I see it more from the individual standpoint of things. Of course, we'll have more of an uprising in violence, unfortunately, in general, as this occurs. But things are starting to shift where there's more of a grip, where the authorities will have more charge once again, more control of things. We're seeing more of a shift as that takes place, and less opportunities for people to really see that they have the freedom to act out as they once did. So that's the thing. That's been happening gradually in the past year or so. So I get a sense of that. So yeah, that's stuff. But nevertheless, I'm being told here, as I'm looking up because somebody's telling me something, that basically we have major changes of improvement energetically in the world. For instance, we have Jupiter, which has just arrived into Pisces. That is very exalted to have Jupiter in Pisces, and will be there for the next year. Jupiter arrived in Pisces on December 27th. And the Pisceans will be the favored sign of the zodiac for this year. Jupiter works beautifully in Pisces because Jupiter is all about expansion and growth and happiness. Pisces is the planet of peace, magic, mysticism, also psychism. The planet of wanting everything to come together in harmony. It is a water-based sign, as we're very aware of, also. It is the sign that is said, to be holy. It's the final sign of the horoscope. It's a combination of all the signs. So every single sign this year will be benefiting and feeling something positive coming your way. Of course, the Pisceans, they're going to be heading to us between late February to March. So they're the ones who are going to be blessed the most this year. So any of you that are Pisces out there, you're going to have a wonderful year. Get ready. Jupiter favors Pisces greatly. I think it was once, if I'm not mistaken, the principal planet for Pisces until Neptune, took over and became, the planet associated for Pisces. Neptune, of course, the planet of emotions, of water, of psychism, metaphysical concerns, works beautifully with the Piscean energy. Jupiter is a fire, sign, but it's also the king of the gods, Zeus, in Greek mythology. Jupiter is the king of the gods in Roman mythology. So we have that exalted, powerful energy of beneficence, good fortune. In the form of Zeus, in the form of Jupiter, it is expansion, growth, wanting to see everything in its proper place. Works beautifully with Pisces because it wants to see everyone happy, wants to see harmony, coming together, society at peace. Jupiter as its energy of expansion, philosophy, religion, spirituality, expansion, growth, to that energy. So we're in a very lucky year. This is the year where hopefully things will start to bring harmony once again, where people start to come together more than ever before, where hopefully the people that have been affected by the negative energy that's been placed on the world for the last 10 years or so will start to snap out of that. The Piscean energy will hopefully finally be a force that will start to bring that to a close, to vanquish that energy, to repel that negativity away, bring people back to clarity, back to a normal sense of things. So we're hoping for the best here. Good energies. We're going to shift like never before. We're going to feel energy in a whole different way than ever. A lot of the old way of feeling things, of seeing things are going. A lot of new energies coming in. We're starting to get used to it. We're getting acclimated more and more to it. So this is a good thing, to witness and see. So those are some of the predictions for this year. We cover health, which will improve also. Generally, world communion, world love, also more of a concern for spirituality, for coming together. Heightened sense of spirit, of psychism. We're in it now with this season. We're still in a very high emotional state. We have loved ones, around us very closely, visiting us, seeing us. I'm sure that many of you out there who are watching this have had connections, have had evidence that your loved ones have been with you in the last few weeks, especially at this time period, as we remember them more and more. That draws them closer, to us. And as that draws them closer to us, they're able to communicate it to us in a clearer, stronger way, using all of our senses. I'm sure many of you have stories to tell, about that, also of getting some sort of connection in one form or another. So more of that is to come, especially with the period of the dark that we're in right now. The winter season is here. We just came through the cold moon, last month, and we're certainly in that. At this time, people are usually staying more at home, more indoors. So it's the time for comfort, relaxation, coming together more as we are more enclosed, especially here in the northern portions, of the world. We are gathering more as we can, with one another, spending more time together, or even on the phone, even on the computer. It's a cozy time also to be at home, watching TV, movies, connecting. Comfort foods, are abundant right now, the warmth of that. Things that are about, just taking care of yourself, nurturing, staying in, hopefully relaxing a bit more also, reading more, communicating more, meditating more, also things more to take care of you. So that's where we're at right now. And for the next few weeks, we're going to be heading into that. We have a full moon coming up in 2 weeks or so. So that will be the wolf moon of the year. The cold season is upon us. So that's another highly spiritually charged, energy. So I'll be talking more about that as well later on in the month. I'll be doing another 1 or 2 programs for this month. And I have one coming up actually in a few days, which I'll talk more about later on, okay? And certainly we will do something as well later on regarding, the full moon. I already have something planned there for that. So we'll do something there with a bit of, let's say, magic and incantation, for that one there for you, too, okay? And then I have another interesting program coming up, as well, maybe more for either January or perhaps beginning of February. I have a fascinating subject. I was going to do that actually for December, but I had to postpone it. And actually that particular subject matter wouldn't have been so appropriate for the holiday season, but it certainly will be better for later on. It's good for the winter. Let's put it that way, in the dark and whatever. And it'll be something fascinating, and along with my connections for the energy regarding that too, and research that I've done. But enough of that. That's just a teaser for all of you, okay? So I'll talk about that more as the month progresses. Towards the end of the month, I'll reveal more what that is. So at this point, we've delivered that material for you. And let's get into some spot readings for the audience out there, for those who are interested in wanting to know more about what's going to be with you, hopefully for the coming year. Who's with you, for the coming year also. And I have someone with me who's kind of like over me, guiding me here for this one. So thank you so much for being here and helping me out. So many guides and so many spirits that we have around us. And you never know who's maybe coming through. So I have an interesting individual here that's joined, this evening as a guide, and will be helping out, here for us. So I'm very happy to see you here. Thank you so much, for being here. and such a fascinating figure. And so for any of you out there who are listening in, if you have a question concerning a reading for you, let me know. And I'll await your comment and your question for what you may want to know more about. It is what, 9:28, so we'll stay on a little bit longer, here, since you had a little bit of a late start, unfortunately, thanks to, computer as usual. So we will await, for your readings, for your questions, okay? So we have a nice cold evening here in New York City. Energies are good, for this. We're tuning in. We have a lot of new moon energy here. So fresh starts, new beginnings, are apparent. We are in the holiday energy, still. We look out, we see lights in the windows in the homes out there. People are still celebrating, also. I know I'll be having a little bit of a nip later on myself after the program. Have a little bit of a sparkling cider, which I enjoy. I don't do alcohol, so sparkling cider is what we use. But, or eggnog, also. So I'm still in the holiday spirits. So Valerie, here we go. And let's see. Well, right away, let's see if we're going to your question here. This is interesting. I know they're not, but I get the sense of twin energy here with these girls. So there's a real closeness of energy here, for these ladies here. And it almost feels like they're twins, even though they're not. So there's a bonding here, and then there's not. There's also their own separate individuals, here as well. So it's fascinating to see. Here. So that's the first thing that I'm picking up on, here. Very closeness and strength of energy. Because again, sisters, they share that. But they're their own people. They have their differences, also. And that's quite apparent, here. And let's see what I get regarding this. So hold on a moment. Okay, for one of your daughters here, it's about more of a concern with the material and more of a concern of getting out there. And it's about work, and it's about more work and improvement in work. And I see something here regarding, for some reason, clothing. And something about clothing for some reason. And she has to dress up the part more for some reason to really get something better. So it's about really polishing up on getting more work, even if it's a second job or so, a lot more professional. Also, the concern there is heading in the future regarding to doing more, regarding to get more financial security, and that's going to be obviously through work. So maybe considering a second job here, for this, for one of them especially. So I see that I'm really having to really move and work, and go in that direction, but concerned about improving her finances so that she has more, so that she has better control of stuff at home and be able to pay off things that she needs to pay off and do more there if that's possible. Even if she's very young, because I'm seeing something of a young energy here also, but somehow something about a job or whatever would be helpful. Also, the younger you are, it's never too late to start. Always remember that. It's never too late to start. And, it's good to get that in their system. It disciplines, it focuses a great deal there. So we have that there a lot too. For the other one, It's more about learning. So here's where we have to go more into learning about stuff and really crack down more there. See if we can improve, our stuff there, and about building and learning more about, schooling for some reason, or getting into that more education, more learning. It's going to be better, to do that. Put the focus more in that. There's any difficulties or problems, got to be geared to that as well, also. And so be aware of that too for that one. There's a lot of love, there also for both of them, too. They just have to be surrounded more the energy of love and affection. One a little bit more than the other. I think the second one is just talked about more. There's more about nurturing there, more affection in that area that is needed. Also, so be aware of that, too. Encouragement, there that helps out. So for that, that's very helpful. But one in particular has to learn and do more about work for some reason, and learning about responsibility. And, need to get that more instilled and improving, there. From a financial gain, it'll be just better, more discipline, there, better for her there. And the other one's more about improving, her sense of feeling that she can do more intellectually and move forward there, and don't give in, and do more there. So that's what comes through there in regards to your questions, there, Valerie. For you, Valerie, in particular, I'm also getting a sense for you here. It's about easing up a bit. Don't be so worried or strained about things in general. Take a little time for yourself to breathe a little bit more, relaxation. Get into pampering yourself a little bit more. That you haven't been able to do enough of that in the last, few months, especially. Now's the time period to take more care of you and do what you need to do, and just pamper yourself. It is time for you to do that and do what's more for you. Everybody else will be able to take care of themselves. Don't worry about that. And you just need to have more me time for you. And you got to recharge your energy, recharge yourself, and take better care there. Now, let's see. For Trisha, okay. Let's see, Trisha. Well, Trisha, there is a gentleman's energy that's with you a great deal, first of all. That's someone that's been hanging around you for a long time. And you know who this is. That's someone that you'll always depend on, will never leave you, alone, or feeling that you're alone. So definitely that gentleman is always, with you. He's got your back. Just put it that way. So he's always with you, especially when you get times of discouragement or whatever. He is there to support you, nevertheless, and watch over you greatly. All right, that's interesting. I'm just getting a little information here. And just, you need to do a few things to keep yourself a little bit busy. Don't let yourself get a little bit like, too down on things and start to slow up. You need to pick up the energy here and start, doing some things of interest, a bit more here and there. Don't slow down. Do some activities, get up and running a bit more. That helps you, helps get rid of the doldrums a bit. And you need a little bit of support and encouragement sometimes to get you away from that, from feeling a little bit black, with stuff. So you just need to pick up the pace, do some stuff, keep going, keep your energy up so that you just keep running, well, from there. For Sherry, let's see. Let's see, Sherry, because I know you were the first one to come up here, and I know that was of importance for you. Well, definitely, Sherry, of course. In fact, you have more than one person. You're watching over you. There is a gentleman and a lady, first of all. You're definitely, with you, watching over you. The gentleman is the more prominent one. The lady is right there next to him, secondary, there. They definitely, are there with you. Have no fear. A lot of changes are coming up for you, but it's in a good way, fortunately, as I get a feeling here. Don't be so concerned about your health, first of all. I feel things, are going to be well for you there. Changes in regard to change of environment, or so I get a sense of things there. Cleaning out some stuff is important. I see here too. Getting rid of some stuff, also will be necessary. Also there, I do feel a move forward into progressing, in another area of things. Also, be aware that there's a change in environment for you. Also coming up. Also, initially it feels like something relating to activities and events. You might be moving, also here, somewhere else that you need a fresh change, a fresh start. Also maybe a bit smaller than what you're used to, but you'll become more independent, also. And that would be helpful to you. Let your creative side start to flow a bit more. I see that you're freeing up and breaking out of some stuff, of some rigidity. So you've got to break out from the past. There's more activities, more for you to do. Let your creative side start to show itself. There are things that you need to do more and more. Let that come out more and more. And it's time for you to start doing that and doing more things that you've held back from doing from a long time. Now's your opportunity to start to do that. And you will be able to do that and more. But I do get a sense of change in environment in regards to place, perhaps where you're living. That's more later on, a few months from now. So we're going down in the year. You're here for this. So definitely a shift in environment, that way. And in activities and response, also too. Coming back to your health again, I see, again, it keeps coming back to your health for some reason. Just take good care of you. Anything that might be persistent or so, just deal with that. That will, start to improve. You will have the help that you need for that to, to not be a major issue, a major problem. That can be dealt with, so well, for you. So there's, again, change for the better in there too, as I get a sense of here too for you. And hello, Zia, how are you? Happy New Year. Well, Happy New Year, everybody. So here you are. And let me just try to shift this thing a little bit more. Here we go. And there you are. So good to see you here. Glad you made it. And so here we are. And the energies are good here. I have someone here helping me out a great deal. So thank you for your help and your guidance and your support. I'm just talking to my spirit here, who's with me this evening, here. Very interesting figure, as I said before, and very magical. So thank you for that. And it's just about full trust. So it's about full trust, and that's a message for all of you as well. Just trust in what you feel, trust in what you're doing. Go with it. Don't second guess things. Don't let your left brain get the best of you and start analyzing things. Just go with what you get, okay? And it will always come through one way or the other for you. It's about trusting in spirit. That's the way. You got to let go and just receive. And what comes is what you put out there. That's what you have to do, okay? So we got that there too. So just waiting to see if anybody else asks any other questions, anything that comes your way.
for you. Sherry, if you're still out there, just to let you know, because I am being informed once again about health and well-being. It's just, do what you need to do, take full charge and do what you need to do to get your health, 100%. It can be done. It can be done. There's no obstacle here. That's what's coming through the most for you. You got to charge and just do what you need to do. And those things will start to work out. Yes, Zia, I know it is very hard. It can be very difficult. But when we listen to our intuitive self, and I've said this for years and years and years, many of you probably are tired of hearing me saying it, but you go with what your intuition, you listen to your intuitions, you trust your intuition, you will always be led right. Don't second guess. Don't, like I said, don't analyze. Don't let the left brain take over and take charge of things. Go with what you get. Go with what you have to genuinely tap into that and feel and listen. That's what will always get you through. So we have, you here as well too. Now, I'm just trying to pick up a little more universally here. We're going to be seeing some more advancements, in regards to things relating to medicine and science. So more is coming through in ways that we didn't expect. So get ready. I'm not talking about the virus. I'm talking about other areas. There'll be some more breakthroughs happening this year in particular. So it feels more in regard to things with arthritis, for instance. There'll be greater improvements with that. More improvements in relating, there's going to be more silent and quiet, more into cancer care, where there'll be more advances and improvement there for certain aspects of that too. So be aware of that, also. We see less invasive techniques taking place, even for those who are in, let's say, in the cosmetics industry and in, let's say, those in the cosmetic medicine portion of things, more breakthroughs there to help people look and feel younger and better, also. There will be more, a greater emphasis than ever before on exercise and health, and that things don't have to be done with such rigidity, or that things don't have to be done with such high impact. There'll be other methods that are going to come out and become more popular, where it's more low impact, but it will get people to stick with it and do more of that as well. And it'll get people healthy, even older people especially, will be able to appreciate that and do that more and improve, the quality of their health and their lifestyle and their well-being. So there'll be more talk about that, more breakthroughs, in those areas there. In regards to also the area here of space and advancements there, we're going to see a lot more. They haven't told us a lot of what they're planning to do, what they're doing. So be aware of this. So in regards to space and technologies up there, more was going to start to be revealed. Humans are starting to head out of the planet, much more than you realize. There'll be wonders, like I predicted last year, there'll be wonders that were happening that we know of, and sure enough, they came into manifestation as we saw last year. Well, once again this year, there'll be other things coming up that they haven't talked about yet, because they're going to surprise us with this. But there'll be more spectacular things happening. Expect some news to come fairly soon, in the next few months, actually. I have a feeling by, let's say, April, there will be a major announcement, because even they don't know about it yet, because they haven't seen it yet. But there will be some sort of a sense of discovery that is going to actually be spectacular. And they will let us know, afterward. The race to the moon is definitely in place, at least so they say. At least the way that they're talking about, that we're going to go back. Well, at least in that format, yes, there'll be more developments, very significant coming up that way too. And Mars, of course, certainly there are a lot more technologically advanced in regards to Mars than they're letting us know, also. So you'll be hearing some bleeps and bounds information coming through for this year in relating to technology, science, and especially medicine. More improvement in medicine, but more improvement where it's people have to take up more on their own. They will give you the guide and the steps, but people will be more into doing more of, especially older people, older generation will be doing more because they'll be able to do more and more. They're getting healthier as they're getting older. People are living longer as we see, but they're going to be living healthier. And there'll be some interesting information in regards to encouraging people to do more, even at later ages, and start doing in different ways and different things and different techniques and different things that they're creating or whatever that will help even those older people improve the quality of their life. So be aware of that for the next year also. Now, let's see, we have a question here. Let's see. Yes, Miha, you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. Indeed. And part of it is work related, for him. And part there's something else also there. Exposure to new people, let's put it that way. Exposure to new people, new situations, getting very into it. It's an energy that is more accustomed to his energy, to his essence. He's making those connections. So it feels like there's a pulling away because of that also. Because he's getting to feel that he's in a place that is really him. He's really getting the energies together where the energies are, let's say, very, very compatible with his way of being, his way of thinking. So follow along what I'm saying, that way, and it'll make sense to you. Now, let's see. Yes, very good. Good. Yes, well, of course he was, because this was something new for him to this level. He'd never, had this experience before. So this was something new because he wasn't used to it, because he's always been the take charge type of individual, as you know, and as we know. And this was something that kind of like opened his eyes and said, oh, not so invincible after all. So, but, it's just taken time to feel better, regain energy. Not so much about regaining strength, it was about just working things through mentally. Because as you well know, he's very, 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 very deep. And the only one I think who knows just how deep he is himself. Nobody else really, 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 really does. Because that mind is unique. So, but he's gotten into himself, and you know that he's one not to, to be taken by fear, and about overcoming stuff like that, and very strong, also as he's been. And as he's feeling better and getting over, the sense of not knowing, and feeling better in a way physically, but also especially feeling better emotionally, and coming back that way, that will start to help a great deal. You're going to see improvement there for sure. As I told you before, he's not going anywhere anytime too soon. And despite the situation that happened last year, which was really kind of unexpected that was going to occur, he certainly came through it, didn't he? No matter what. Because, it'd be very difficult to put that one down. Okay, so, and as we saw, that has come through. So there'll be improvement there, physically internally and physically externally, also. There will be improvement. Start to look like more like his former self, once again, which is a good thing, and regain himself that way too. That's important for him, as we know. you know, and but especially internally, you know, also there'll be some improvement, you know, there to some extent anyway. Don't expect a whole new person because that's not going to be possible now with him. But definitely, you know, some improvement there, you know, for him, you know, and he'll be back on the airwaves where we'll get to see him again a bit more, you know, too. So I know many people are looking forward, you know, to seeing him instead of hearing about him, you know, once again. So once he feels that he's ready and looks the part, you know, he'll be back up there, you know, as well in front of the camera, darling. You know, he loves the camera. So, and you know that better than anyone else. So let's see. Right, right. Good. Well, is it? Oh, I see what you just wrote now. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Good. Good. And that's what he needs to do. It's very, very hard, especially after things like this. I have a friend who is in a similar situation where something just came out of nowhere and also landed her on her back, literally, for quite some time. And it's gone through the period of, oh my God, you know, will I ever overcome this or so? And the phase of like almost giving up or so, but has managed to like overcome that. It can be very, very, very difficult to do under these circumstances. But she too is also starting to come back out of it and is motivated. That's what he needs, motivation to come out of this and do what he needs to do. And the more he does, the better. He'll feel he regain strength. He'll see if he's able to do more. And, you know, powerhouse that he is, you know, he'll come back, you know, too, you know, to do that. And he needs to lose some weight, honey. He just needs to lose some weight. Yes, and believe it or not, especially him. He wants to be back in the camera more than anyone else. So, but you know, once he, like I say, he looks the part more, besides feeling it, you know, that will be so. So expect that to happen. Now, let's see. And let's see. Oh, we have a visitor here, soliciting readings here. That's very interesting. So that happens with these things. Let's see. So that's somebody who needs to, you know, find their own, you know, people and get their readings elsewhere. They need to have their own program and, you know, get their own, you know, readings for themselves. They don't need to be coming into somebody else's space to do that for them. So as we do that, let's see, hold on a second. Let me just join you for a moment here. Hold on a second. Okay. And come back once again. Okay, here we are. Okay, hold on a second. Let's get that in the way. Let's see. And we'll take care of that in a moment. Okay. All right, very good. So let's see. Oh, here we go. All right. Let's see. And away we go. Okay. Let's see. Right. And there we go. Excuse me a bit as I take care of this situation for a moment. Okay, there we go. So hopefully that should take care of that. So here we go. Right, yeah, that's one way of looking at it. Exactly, Zia, right. Well, hopefully I've taken care of that situation. Just had to like take a moment to deal with that. But here we are. So let's see. So we're here. Just looking back to, I haven't missed anything from anyone here. And we're gonna come to a conclusion in 5 minutes to make it even at 10. All right, so here we go. So if anybody has any last minute question, last minute reading that they like, now's your time. We're only gonna be here for 5 more minutes and we'll call it an evening. So that's what's coming up for the new year. Hopefully We got in touch with each and every one of you, something, and more to come. And let me see. It's about emotions. This year in particular, this is for all of you out there, this is going to be a year of emotions and of strong feelings and getting really attuned and being clear with yourselves and honest with yourselves and really seeing what is really the most important thing in your life. What is it that's going to make you feel emotionally satisfied, emotionally healthy? Getting away from things that you're not happy with, situations, people, circumstances. Time to break away from that. You never know when we might leave this world. It can happen at any moment, unfortunately. You have to live your life truthfully, honestly, and you have to feel fulfilled for yourself and do what is meant for you to live. Live the way that you want to live. Live the way that's going to make you happy. Very simple message, but very important, very profound. It is about the year of being true to you. It's about your emotional satisfaction, your emotional well-being, your emotional health. You may have to break away from certain situations. You have to break away from certain people even, no matter who they are. This is the turning point, for you. It's about finding your way and being happy in your truest self. That's what this is about. This year will help you a great deal. 2022 is the year of sensitivity. It's the year of relationships. It is the power of two, coming together, partnership, relationship, matters of the heart. All of that falls under the auspices of the two energy field. Relationship with others, relationship with yourself, honesty toward you. Make or break. Break the relationships that are no longer relevant, no longer helpful to you. Find, seek, accept relationships that are for you, what is meant for you to do, what is meant for you to feel, what is meant for you to be. And that is what you have to do. Listen to others, listen to what they're saying to you. See if they're being honest with you. See if they're worth keeping around, especially. In some instances, it will be harder to do, but it will be the best and healthiest thing for you to do. Live your life, love your life, do what you need to do. I have several friends that are doing just that. They had to come to some very hard decisions. They had to end toxic situations, toxic relationships, some that were decades in length. They had to break apart certain things. They left jobs even. They went to do other things. It's an adventure, for them, but they're doing it because they can. They're at the right position. They were ready for it. And it's scary. It can be a bit lonely, as we've always heard about this when we make changes of this nature. It is scary. It is lonely. What am I going to do? If it's financial, you have to be very careful. How am I going to handle this? So always think before you do, as I always say. You always think before you do. And that's the most important thing of all. It's about the year of honesty, the year of self-preservation, the year of being true to you. And on that note, since we don't have any further questions or so, we're going to call that an evening. So that was the final message for this evening, as it was relayed to me to inform to you. That was something I was not expecting. That just came into being as I spoke to you. So take that message, internalize it, see what it means for you. See what it means for others around you, close to you. Pass the word along. It might be very helpful for another who may need to hear it. It's meant for them. It may be the catalyst to get them to open up their eyes, open their light, see what's in store for them. Make that change finally for themselves. Be true to them. Be 100% for them. Be 100% for you. So again, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year 2002. We're expecting a better, more wonderful year ahead, for all of us. That is for sure. I feel it. I really, really feel it. I'm so happy about that. Doesn't mean it's going to come easy, but it will be better certainly than it was the last 2 years. That is for sure. We're going to get more of a sense of things coming back to healthy, back to the way they are supposed to be. So looking forward to that. So again, if you missed the first half, look back on my page, the Angelus Colon Transpsychic Express. You can see this program once again there. Also Metaphysical Communion on the YouTube channel as well. And I will be having another program in a few days from now. So stay tuned for the announcement. That'll be something special that we can start the year off right, also and helpful. It'll be something helpful for all of us. So I'm not going to say more about it until I post in a day or two, okay? So stay tuned for that. And then later in the month, I'll be back once again for a full moon program as well. Also that'll also offer more help, more well-being, for all of you. Perhaps we'll do some readings there too. It'll be a good night, to do readings as well. So we'll do more spot readings then too, okay? Thank you, Z. I will say hello as soon as I'm finished here also. So now give her a hug for you too. And thank you, Sherry, for being here. Thank you, Mary Lou. Thank you, everyone. And again, Happy New Year. I'll see you, in a few days from now, okay? So take care and mwah, blessings and good night. Happy New Year.